you're doing okay today. Straight away, back to business. I'm going to place an order to sell short euro. The price I'm looking for, 118,975. Okay, I'm looking to sell at 118,975, just right here. So if you're looking to sell short euro, please place an order and then stay with me, and we will complete together this trade. We'll make a profit on it. Okay, if you want to get a strategy, you can get it from our website, companyeye.co.uk. We still have places available for 15 minutes sessions. That's free. You don't have to pay anything at all. So you're welcome to register at our website, or you can find banner on our streamer. Okay, speak to you later.
Friday nights late or Sunday mornings early, and Bank America is raising wages there. Joining us now for more on that is Tom Metcalf from our banking team. So Tom, what's driving this? Is it really the Archbishop of Canterbury who's telling Jes Staley how he should run his business?
Yeah, well, it's certainly true that a lot of folks you wouldn't normally expect to be opining on something like this are definitely getting interested. So, I mean, it's a perennial topic in banking, and I guess the reason it's been particularly high profile recently is probably with the pandemic. I think a lot of these more junior bankers are finding it extremely hard to sort of switch off. I mean, you know, as that Goldman deck suggested, that, you know, they might be literally going to bed for a few hours and then straight back to their screens, and, you know, just doing that for 20 hours every day, week in, week out. And I think after about a year of that, you know, the cracks are starting to show. So there's that kind of pressure from within. And then obviously, yeah, when you have someone like the head of the Church of England weighing in, I think a few CEOs are probably starting to take notice as well.
The pressure from within doesn't get to be blown off also is something that I've been hearing from a lot of bankers. Like, you know, in the past, they were working these insane hours as well. They did this last year, they did this 10 years ago, they did this 20 years ago, but they all got to go to the pub with the other junior bankers and kind of blow off a little bit of steam. That kind of social aspect is missing, and maybe that's why, at least this is what people are telling me, it's been highlighted this year. Are you hearing that as well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's kind of an interesting thought, really, because, you know, that may well be why you have seen folk like David Solomon of Goldman saying, you know, he's keen to bring everyone back into the office. I think there's a recognition that, particularly for some of these kinds of works, you know, right now, I think a lot of the analysts are kind of just getting the negative side of it and not able to sort of get the, you know, comradeship or sort of the social aspect that at least.
Okay, traders, position close. Oh, sorry, open position. We didn't close yet. We're open position at 118,975. That's a short position. All of you who decided to trade euro, you're in. So stay with me, and we will go through this trade, and I'll let you know what's going to happen next, when we're going to play stop on profit, or when we're going to add another pair, another position for euro. Okay, well done, guys. Yesterday we did quite a good trade on euro, so hopefully today it will be even better. Stay safe.
Welcome back to the European Open. We are a half hour into the session right now, and we're looking at a FTSE that's off almost 0.25%, a DAX that's down a little bit more than 0.25%, the CAC 40 little changed in Paris. Let's take a look at which sectors are on the move on the broader Stocks 600 benchmark itself down a little bit more than 0.1%. You see consumer products, and is it consumer products and staples? I never get the letters right. Ever since S&P went to abbreviations, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's a staples thing there. Then industrial goods and services, construction materials, all down, or all up, I should say. On the downside, insurance, personal consumer drugs, and grocery stores are gainers as well as losers as well as telecoms. So a real mixed bag today in terms of what we see moving on the GRR. Let's get to the Bloomberg First Word News. Laura Wright, save me in London. Laura.
Anytime, Matt. So UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak is under pressure after revealing he pushed his officials to consider helping Greensill Capital following a request from former Prime Minister David Cameron. According to text messages released by the government, Sunak told Cameron he'd asked his team to look at ways to give Greensill access to the state's pandemic corporate support program last year. Sunak maintains he followed all the correct procedures. More uncertainty for the UK travel industry. The Department for Transport says COVID testing and quarantine regimes will be compulsory according to whether a foreign destination is rated green, amber or red under a new system. But the government says it's too early to say which nations will fall into what category or whether travel will resume in mid-May or at a later date. The UK has granted asylum to Hong Kong pro-democracy activist Nathan Law, a move likely to fuel tensions with China. Law fled to London last year after Beijing introduced sweeping national security powers for the Hong Kong government. Beijing accused the UK of sheltering wanted criminals. Global news 24 hours a day on air and at Bloomberg Quick Take, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in more than 120 countries. This is Bloomberg Matt.
Laura, thanks very much. Laura right there in London with your First Word News. Now, Credit Suisse's former CEO said the bank should not be judged on the Archegos fallout alone. Brady Dugan, who ran the lender from 2007 to 2015, cites the company's past successes in risk management, including during the 2008 financial crisis.
It's clearly, issues around risk are extremely important. They take a lot of focus. Large financial organizations are complex. And so, clearly it does take a lot of focus. It takes people who really understand the business and are focused on it. And yet, as you mentioned, with large complex organizations, it's not unique that these issues come up from time to time. And I would say, as you say, on Credit Suisse, I'm not involved in it. I don't know any more than a man on the street. And obviously, I'm a big booster of Credit Suisse as well. So, I have a perspective on it. And I do think, they have great businesses, great franchises, a lot of great people. I think that, clearly you kind of have to put that in perspective. But it definitely is it's something where you also have to have really the DNA and the approach within the organization. And I would point out, for instance, at Credit Suisse, you may recall, through the financial crisis, 2008, Credit Suisse was one of the banks that did not have any government bailout and was considered to have managed, one of the best through that crisis. So, there is a lot of good DNA around risk management there as well.
I was actually going to mention that because you did manage Credit Suisse.
Okay, guys,
through that.
We're going to place stop on profit for euro. The price I'm looking to place 118.955. As you can see, this is as simple as that. This is all about small profits, relatively small profits, but you will do it constantly, every time on different pairs. This way you will make a profit by day trading. You don't have to wait until it will double in price or triple in price. Small profit, this is enough, and move on. Small profit, this is enough, and move on. So right now, we have 2 pips in profit. In our case, it will be £200, but it's not yet. We didn't fill it yet. So if it moves lower, we will exceed. We will put even higher stop on profit. We will try to make as much as possible from this trade and from our position. So if you decided to follow this trade, please do so, and please place stop on profit. And whatever happened, as I always said, you will not end up in loss. Good trade. Well done, guys. All of you who decided to place this trade.
Remember that swaps are
you already in profit.
to get leverage that at the low end of estimates was as much as 5 times leverage, and estimates do indeed go much higher than that.
Welcome back to Bloomberg Markets. This is the European Open. We are almost an hour into the session now, and the FTSE is down about 0.3%. But as I continue to remind you, it's had a good week, and we don't see a lot of movement elsewhere in equity indexes. Joining us now is Laura Cooper, Bloomberg's MLive macro strategist. Actually, Laura, even though we get to or near record highs in almost all equity indexes, we haven't really seen a lot of big swings this week. It seems like volatility has kind of come out of this trade.
Well, and it's really been quite a quiet week. We did have this holiday shortened week in Europe. We really...
Okay, guys, this is it. This is what it's all about to day trade. You just complete your trade. For some of you guys, you just complete your first trade and you made a profit. Well done. Great. Great trade. And in our case, we made £200. In your case, it's how much broker pays you per pip. Okay? This is where we close. It took us just probably half an hour to complete this trade. Great. Well done. Let's move on to next pairs.